your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Let's go into the night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Belongs to the defense. Defense wins championships, people. Although when I look at this team, I don't want to believe that. I think it's going to be offense. Find a way, score. Forget 3, give us 7. Get into the end zone. Today, though, the D got the job done. Liam Cohen began his presser by saying that more competitive today. They set the tone. It was an up-tempo Tuesday, and on a Wednesday, it is a day again dominated by the defense. Tomorrow is it. I'm sad. You know, I know it can be a pain for a lot of people, but I just love everything about off-season camp. And to me, it's a pleasure. First off, when you're a big guy like me, you sweat it out. And that's always fun. You know, just to break a lather and to be able to talk about what's going on with this team and to be able to observe what's going on with this team. I do. I think that people don't believe me when I say it, but I'm telling you, folks, I don't lie. I tell the truth, okay? I love the offseason more than I do actual in-season. And because I get so emotionally wrapped up. I'm a freak when it comes to that, about being totally involved with the teams and the games, whether it's Florida State on Saturday. And you know, with the Jaguars, I'll be the first to admit, it's more about the fans than anything. And that's another part of it. I want you to be happy. Call me crazy, but I actually like when other people are happy. And when the Jaguars win, you are happy. When the Jaguars win, you get up Monday morning, your entire week is different compared to when they lose. And I felt just so horrible for you folks a year ago after the Travis Etienne fumble in Miami, that god-awful football team that was so embarrassing, professionally speaking, dropped a 0-4 on you last year in the month of September, giving you about 20-some-odd minutes worth of enjoyment for the entire Jaguar season. Think about it. And so I love the offseason. And it ends tomorrow. And then they'll break for probably 5 weeks or so. Training camp will be right there at the Miller Electric Center. And we'll get an opportunity to see them finally with some pads on. Okay, today, almost it was a big scare, at least momentarily speaking. When Brian Thomas Jr. kind of got locked up with Tyson Campbell, he went down. It was far away. It was probably on the other side of the 50, maybe the 40, maybe the 45, 40, 35 yards, somewhere in that neighborhood. So, and there were a lot of guys standing around, so you really couldn't get a good picture. And we're like, is that 7? Is that number 7? Is that Brian Thomas Jr.? And then all of a sudden, after about 20, 30 seconds or so, yeah, it's him. And when you're a receiver like that and you go down, I automatically think lower body, right? I think the legs, and I think, the knee and the ankle and everything else. And all of a sudden it's no, he's holding onto the shoulder and he walks off. It was a sold-out audience today. Jaguar fans taking this one in at the Miller Electric Center. So a lot of good Jag fans out there today. It's always good to bump into you people. And he walked back out. So, that could have been a disaster, right? And it wasn't. So you avoid what really could have been awful. But, that's what this thing is all about, and that is what sports is all about. You look at the NBA tonight. You look at Game 4 of the Stanley Cup Final tomorrow. I just went through and read another preview. Jessica Blalock, oh, by the way, is coming up in 15 minutes. We're going to get ready for Game 4 tomorrow night down in Miami between the Panthers as they try to repeat here over Edmonton. They didn't even list one injury. I mean, the biggest fraud in all of sports is the injury report in the National Hockey League. You can get fined if you don't give the proper definition, the correct definition of what an injury is in the NFL. In the NHL, you could be playing with a ruptured spleen like Patrick Bergeron and say, yeah, he's got an ankle or he's fine. It's just amazing. But that is what is such a big part of all of this for every single team, all 32. You have to face attrition. You must be a team with depth. Now, a guy like Brian Thomas Jr., you don't replace him. He's their best player. If you're ranking 1 through 90 right now, who are the best players? It's not even a conversation. Brian Thomas Jr. is the best player right now on this football team. Now, hopefully, someday, Trevor Lawrence is that guy. Trevor Lawrence becomes a top 5 quarterback and becomes that special, but I don't think anyone would argue with me. So it was a little bit of a scare, but it was avoided. And, it's kind of funny. You talk with members of the media like, that's it. Put him in bubble wrap. Don't even let him play until September. You can't do that. You got to practice. Every rep counts. Again, Brian Thomas, year 2. It's already a second different offensive scheme for him, a totally new system, a totally new wide receiver coach with Edgar Bennett. He's got to learn things. This is very common in professional athletics, but the Jaguars have been very healthy. I can't remember the last time. Look at all the signings Trent Baalke had a year ago. I think Trent Baalke signed Jacksonville's free agents out of the hospital a year ago. I mean, every single one of them who came in here couldn't do anything. They were damaged goods, and you were waiting for them to get ready for training camp. That's not the case with this team. It's a very healthy football team. And again, I'm trying to think through training camp or certainly this case, minicamp, where there were guys who didn't even have, soft tissue injuries, hamstrings or what have you. So that was today. And thank goodness that actually did happen and ended up being very good news for Brian Thomas Jr. We heard from Travis Hunter at the end of practice. I'd love to play you some sound. There's really not any. And I'm really intrigued here because I didn't really watch much of him interview-wise at Colorado. I don't know what his plan was there. I don't know if Deion Sanders protected him or what the deal was, but this is an incredibly smart guy. He's a 4.0 student. He doesn't party. He's married. He likes to play what? Video games and fish. He's giving such short answers that, I don't believe. I don't believe that the Jaguars would say to their prized possession, don't give anything to the media. Don't talk to the media. I don't believe that. What I think we're witnessing is that Travis Hunter is so smart and so intelligent that he has figured this out on his own. He's going to be asked time and again and time and again and time and again, offense, defense, how you mix it in, yada, yada, yada. Watch this. I'm going to give a couple of words to every answer. I'm going to have a smile on my face. He's not being a jerk about it. Don't misconstrue what I'm trying to say. This is not a bad thing. It's a little ironic because you would think that a guy drafted that high, who won a Heisman Trophy, who's getting ready to do what has never been done in this league, would be much more about self-promotion and rah-rah. No. He is incredibly close to the vest. He says all the right things, work hard, can't wait to get with the coaching. He referenced both sides of the football field with Milo and then went to Edgar Bennett. Talks about learning from Brian Thomas. I mean, it's incredible the way that he answers questions. But, brother, he is limited, okay? And I want to believe that he's taking this on by himself. Maybe it's his way of saying, I don't want all this attention. Talk to others. And, the Jaguars have done a nice job. We met with him, day one during minicamp, rookie minicamp, and we talked with him today. So that would have been 10 OTAs and 2 mandatory minicamps. So, that's a pretty good equation. And I don't know this. This is just me thinking out loud. This is just a hunch. It doesn't appear that Travis Hunter Jr. is going to be a great soundbite. It doesn't appear that he's going to be a guy that is going to make news in the National Football League with his mouth. And you know what? That's exactly what you want, honestly. And that's coming from me. Guys in my position, we love it when players talk. We love it when players say, look at what Jalen Ramsey did. Remember the whole Jalen Ramsey and everything he did and all the problems that he caused? And when Deion Sanders came in and spoke to the team, he let it be known what Jalen was doing wrong. And again, Deion is perceived as one of the greatest trash talkers of all time. Yet if you really go back and dive into the history of Deion Sanders, he wasn't a trash talker. He was a self-promoter. He just built himself up. He told everyone that would listen that he is the greatest, kind of like Muhammad Ali. But Muhammad Ali did it both. Muhammad Ali is probably the greatest self-promoter of any athlete we've ever seen, but he absolutely fractured the skull of Joe Frazier. Talk about a guy getting into another guy's head. Joe Frazier mentally was stir crazy after the comments that Muhammad Ali made. Deion never did that. Deion promoted himself. Deion wasn't in GQ for ripping quarterbacks the way that Jalen Ramsey was. So we told him that. Hunter's none of the above. I almost get the sense that if Hunter didn't talk to anyone, meaning us, he'd be fine. That he's just so focused on doing his job. So anyway, this is just a hunch. This is just a theory. And, as I always say, it doesn't matter what I say. It matters what you hear. Okay? This is not a negative. This is actually a positive. That I just wanted to begin the program with that. Okay. We're going to bring in the good friends at Shmunez Vision. Did see some people out there. I do want to just thank you for yesterday. The outpouring and the support was, really unexpected. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. And, after losing my dad, it's just amazing. I said it earlier in the program, and I'll say it again. I've always done sports radio based on what I think the fans want to hear. And a lot of you got back to me last night about the fact that you just went out and called your dad, and you were going to call your dad, and that you were affected one way or another. I love the relationship that I have with Into the Night listeners. I do. No one is more interactive with the listeners than I am. We go to the text line all the time. I try to respond all the time. I appreciate your input. I don't laugh at you. I will disagree with you all the time. And it's my opinion. It's your opinion. But it's great. And I'm really lucky to be a part of this. But I do want to thank all of you for that. It really meant a lot to me. And just wanted to say that as we get things started right here on this Wednesday. All right, comments tonight brought to you by Shmunez Vision. It's a good thing I had the contacts in today when a player went down, and, I had to kind of locate the number. Yeah, it's a good thing. 2020, I visited Shmunez Vision 2 weeks ago, and it was a great visit with Dr. Neo Shmunez. Again, for one reason or another, and I can't figure it out, people delay eye checkups, eye appointments. Anything else in your body, you're going to get it immediately looked at. But when it comes to the eyes, it always seems to be, I'll get to it. Okay, yeah, let's push it back another month. Stop doing that. Give yourself the eyesight that you deserve. You also may be fighting right now allergies, particularly with pollen. Dr. Neo Shmunez gave me a simple remedy a couple of weeks ago, and it's worked. Frankly, I didn't even know that I had an allergy. He told me I did. Dr. Catherine Schmunez, Dr. John Hunt, whether it's laser eye surgery, whether it is refractive surgery, whether it is cataract surgery, they will sit and talk with you and answer all your questions. They're not going to send you down the hall to talk to a surgery counselor. You're going to be able to talk to them. Look at them online. Just go to Schmunez Vision. And you can also go to Instagram and get the very latest as well as far as testimonials at Schmunez Vision. All right, we got a ton to do tonight with the Jaguars. Jalen McLeod, draft pick out of Auburn, is going to join us. John Oehser is going to join us from Jaguars.com. But let's start with a little hockey. Let's bring in our old friend, Jessica Blalock. She covers the Florida Panthers. They try to take a commanding 3-1 lead tomorrow night in Miami.
Is this heaven?
No, it's the great before. This is where new souls get their personalities, quirks, and interests before they go to Earth.
1010XL.
Lucas Tree Service is a certified arborist and a local family-owned business with over 45 years of experience. They specialize in tree removal, trimming, and stump grinding for both residential and commercial properties. Get prepared for storm season and receive top-notch customer service from Lucas Tree Service, 904-241-3533. Online at lucastreeservice.com.
Hi, I'm Karen, owner of Clay Solar Installation Partners, your local woman-owned solar company. Did you hear? JEA is raising rates again. With summer right around the corner, those power bills are only going to go up. But with solar, you can take control of energy costs and say goodbye to rising rates. At Clay Solar, we make switching easy and affordable. Stop paying more for power and own it. Visit claysolar.com to schedule a consultation today.
DivorceMenOnly.com. This is Kenny Lay of Kenny Lay & Associates. Our firm specializes in representing men in family law. That's all we do. That's our only focus. We can help with all of your family law needs, such as divorce, custody, alimony, and child support. For over a decade, we have helped thousands of men with these types of issues. We even have an appellate division ready to challenge a judge's ruling. If you need a family law attorney, go to DivorceMenOnly.com. DivorceMenOnly.com. Offices, Jacksonville.
Tired of wrestling with your shower curtain like it's a fight for the last slice of pizza? Ditch the drama and say hello to a smooth, stylish glass shower enclosure from Baker Glass. Wago Glass is clean, elegant, and makes your bathroom look huge and brighter. Give your shower a makeover and feel like you're in a spa without the price tag. I'm Mac at Baker Glass. Call me and get ready to love your new shower. Let's make your shower great again. Remember, Baker Glass, no one treats you better.
Your AC's broke, it ain't no joke. Call Florida Home AC. Florida Home AC. Florida Home AC. Florida Home AC. FloridaHomeAC.com.
Don't miss the Bari Breakdown with Dr. George Bari on XL Primetime, Wednesdays around 3:20 for the latest in sports injuries. From all the big names in the game, who's MIA, who's coming back from injury. Dr. George Bari on XL Primetime, Wednesdays at 3:20.
It's the NBA playoffs, and Hurricane Grill & Wings has slam dunk specials like $3.75 Miller Lite drafts with 30 bold wing flavors, ice-cold drinks, handcrafted cocktails, and big screens everywhere. Find your spot at hurricanewings.com.
Pick it here with a game winner. It's Checkmate Coatings. I've scouted them all. And this Jacksonville crew's the real deal.
I'm Brendan, owner of Checkmate Coatings. We transform pool decks, driveways, and patios with pro precision.
Score big at checkmatecoatings.com. Checkmate Coatings, your floor's missing piece.
Checkmate Coatings, your floor's missing piece.
Hacker here for Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Look, the summer has arrived. Memorial Day is in the rearview mirror. It's vacation season for me, and over the next couple of weeks, whether it's a cruise, going out to Las Vegas, I'm going to bust out the tank tops, man. I'm going to show off the bod a little bit. Now, would I have done that 100 pounds ago? Of course not, but thanks to the great folks at Awaken 180 Weight Loss, I really have a new lease on life. It's life changing. I'm in the maintenance program now, doing really well, right? The weight is not coming back on. That's almost as rewarding, if not a little more rewarding. It's one thing to lose the weight. It's something else to keep it off. I've been able to do that with the great folks of Awaken 180 Weight Loss. If it's time in your life to make that change like it was for me, go to awaken180weightloss.com or call 844-346-1800. If I can do it, you can do it. Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
Are your kids ready to play this summer? Come check out The Y. Summer is a time for kids to explore new things and expand the limits of their imagination. At The Y, summer camps every day is a new adventure. Kids can learn about STEM, arts and humanities, athletic sports, outdoor games, and more. Registration is now open, but space is limited, and spots are filling up quickly. Learn more and find your adventure at fcymca.org. Search Summer Day Camp.
Pickett here with my concierge doctor, Richard Townsend. Doc T, how does a concierge direct primary care operate?
We are a membership-based primary care made directly between a patient and physician. We'll have a limited amount of patients that allows us to give unlimited access and personal service to you. This individualized approach has been shown to lower hospitalizations as well as maintain healthier lives. We also give 24/7 access via phone to me outside of our scheduled office hours.
To learn more, go to mypvconcierge.com.
The best value for golf in Jacksonville remains Cimarron, totally reestablished with new tee boxes, improved fairways and greens, also a brand new restaurant with indoor and outdoor settings, and live music. Join the Wild One loyalty program online at Cimarron Golf. When's the last time you played Cimarron? Cimarron Golf Club on 210, the Wild One.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Let's go into the night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Want to wish Derek Trucks a happy birthday. It was the other day, but obviously I was not here. I was with my dad. But I did go back and forth, text with Derek, and unfortunately, his wife, Susan Tedeschi, also lost her dad. That happened recently. So some sadness, certainly back in Boston for the Tedeschi family. That'll be the case for yours truly when I head to Boston next week. Tonight's show brought to you by Alexander Law Practice. We will get to that in 10 minutes, but first things first.
Now, another great guest on the Checkmate Coatings phone line.
Hello.
Your floor's missing piece.
My goodness, game 4, and they make us wait another night. It's going to be in 24, let's make it 25 and a half hours. It'll be Edmonton in Miami to take on the Florida Panthers. Our great friend Jessica Blalock joins us. Hello.
Hi, Ballou. How are you?
I'm doing good, Jessica. How are things?
I am great, especially after the way Game 3 played out between the Panthers and the Oilers.
Mm-hmm.
I was so emotionally spent after double OT in Game 2. Thank the Lord for Brad Marchand and what he has done in a Florida Panthers uniform. But my goodness, Game 2 absolutely took it out of me. Game 1 also obviously going to overtime. And so after the first 2 games, I was like, there's just no way there's going to be a laugher in this series, right? And then, of course, the Panthers winning Game 3 by a final of 6-1, 3 power play goals. Marcy scoring, a minute into the game or whatever it was. And yeah, the Panthers just didn't really look back after that. So really nice to have a game like that where I didn't have to hold my breath the entire time.
Complete win, too. I mean, top 3 lines all scored. You got out to an early lead. Before you knew it, it was 2-0. Then just the dominant play. The physical style is something that absolutely has favored Florida over Edmonton so far in this series. I mean, there used to be that old theory that if you're going to lose, it's actually better off to get blown out in a game than to lose in overtime like these teams both did in Game 1 and Game 2. What is the feeling now? I mean, look at what happened a year ago. Edmonton was down 0-3, and they came back and won 3 straight games to force Game 7.
Well, and I was just about to point that out because Paul Maurice basically said anyone who thinks that all of a sudden the Florida Panthers have figured out the Edmonton Oilers, basically that is BS. And you better believe that the Panthers are not going to forget about the fact that they were up 3-0 last year in the series and eventually had to play a Game 7 because Edmonton came roaring back, won the next 3 to tie up the series and force that decisive Game 7. So I don't think for a minute that the Panthers all of a sudden think the rest of this series is going to look like Game 3. I think they think it's going to continue to look a lot more like Game 1 and Game 2. But I think they try and capitalize and carry over the momentum from a lot of the positives from Game 3. Like you mentioned, the depth was fully on display, getting contributions from up and down the lineup, defensemen chipping in offensively, great goaltending from Sergei Bobrovsky, the power play, struck 3 times. The physicality was fully on display. The Panthers really able to dictate the style of play from the very beginning, frustrating Edmonton to the point of taking 11 penalties. The Panthers had 11 power plays, which is just insane. Stuart Skinner gets chased from the net, for Calvin Pickard. And then you see all of the fights that broke out because I think Edmonton just figured, all right, if we're going to go down, we're going to go down, trying to at least frustrate this team and see if we can get under their skin. The problem is you can't really play Florida's game against them, right? Florida's kind of the ultimate, hey, we know how to get under your skin, but then when you want to engage with us, we know how to kind of skate away and leave you frustrated. And we saw that in Game 3. So I think you certainly try and take away the positives and what worked and what you can carry over into Game 4. But I don't by any means think we're going to see another 6-1 final in Game 4.
Jessica Blalock, you remember her? She used to be with us here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. She covers the Florida Panthers and works with the Florida Panthers down in Miami. Game 4 coming up tomorrow night. It's unbelievable coaching because, you got guys that can just infuriate with Marchand and Bennett and Tkachuk, but they're so well coached with Paul Maurice. And all of a sudden, when you have a laugher, Edmonton's going to try to find some momentum. So let's fight. And at the end of the game, towards the end of the game, you get old school kind of 5-on-5 and fighting. But Gadjevich, you picked the wrong guy to try to set the tempo against.
Well, and also A.J. Greer. If there are 2 guys that you do not, actually I would say 3 guys that you do not want to engage with on this team, it is Sam Bennett, it is Jonah Gadjevich, and it is A.J. Greer. And those are, the main guys that Edmonton tried to throw down with. And I'm telling you, you're just not going to win that fight.
No.
You are just not going to win that fight. And you saw the guys in the penalty box. I think it was Bennett and Gadjevich were either already in there or Bennett and Greer, and they're, chest bumping each other and patting each other on the back. And, there is not a lack of guys who have a problem dropping the gloves and engaging with the opponent. And it's one of the things that defines this Panthers team. And it's something that's kind of defined the Panthers team for a while now. We saw it last year with even guys like Ryan Lomberg. And, it's why Florida plays with an edge because they're not going to back down against any team, any player, any opponent. And Evander Kane is one of the toughest customers you'll find around the league, and it doesn't remotely intimidate the Florida Panthers. So, and I think some of that frustration for Edmonton, not only, the score, not only Skinner getting pulled when maybe that game wasn't necessarily on solely him. But also I think, Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl in Game 3 were effectively bottled up. And I don't even think Draisaitl had a shot on goal the whole game. So there were just so many factors that if you're Edmonton, it just had to be infuriating as far as the way that game played out.
Let's wrap with Brad Marchand because he's 37. I adore this guy. He's such a competitor. He now has 64 career playoff goals. He scored in the first 3 games. It sets a record for the oldest player to be able to do that at 37. Of course, he had the game winner the other night. But people hate Brad Marchand. I know that the Florida Panther fans hated Brad Marchand. I think he's going to win the Conn Smythe, which for our listeners who aren't aware, that is for the MVP throughout the entire playoffs. What has the fan base been like now that Brad Marchand is one of theirs?
You have no idea how quickly that hate turned into automatic love as soon as he put on a Florida Panthers uniform. The first game that he played in, because remember when we traded for him, he was still injured.
Oh, yeah.
It took him a little bit before he appeared in a game for the Florida Panthers. When his name was announced, I cannot remember the last time the arena cheered that loudly. It was they probably cheered that loudly for Sergei Bobrovsky and maybe like a shutout win and chanting Bobby. But I am telling you what, the cheers for Brad Marchand when he was introduced as a Florida Panther in his first game that he played as a Cat on home ice, the fans absolutely went bananas. And, it's like any player, though, that you look at around the league. There's a lot of people that hate Matthew Tkachuk.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of people that hate Sam Bennett because of how edgy Sam Bennett plays. And he's not afraid to go in the crease. He's not afraid to bump into the goalie. But I tell you what, if any hockey fan was asked truly and honestly, would you want Matthew Tkachuk on your team? Would you want Sam Bennett on your team? Would you want Brad Marchand on your team? Every single hockey fan would say, yes, I would love that guy on my team because all of those three players change your identity. They change what you look like completely out on the ice. And I'm very curious to see what's going to happen with number 63 because the way that he has performed in the playoffs, this guy obviously still has a lot left in the tank, or at least a lot more than people probably thought. And he's fit in so perfectly with the Panthers. I think that I really honestly think since coming over and the success that he's had with the Panthers and the TNT appearances and the rapport he has with Biz and making fun of Biz and going back and forth, I think people are kind of starting to be like, man, I really want to hate this guy, but he's got a great personality. Yeah. And he really does. He's so likable. It's just impossible not to like him when you really honestly get a chance to talk to him and get to know him a little bit. He is amazing. He's amazing. And I mean, you know how much I love him, even from his Boston days. And so I very selfishly, I would love for the Cats to figure out a way to keep him around for a little bit longer.
Yeah. He's probably my favorite Boston Bruin since Bobby Orr. I mean,
he's the best.
And the organization, you just mentioned that the two trades they made recently to get Tkachuk, to get Marchand. They also got Bennett. That was that was a few years prior to that, but they just continue to make the right moves. All right, I got a minute left. How do you see things tomorrow night?
I think the Panthers win. I think it's a much tighter game, though. Like I said earlier, I don't think it's going to be a 6-1 final. I could see it being a 3-2, and the Panthers get an empty net to win it 4-2. But I think it's going to be a much, much tighter game, especially in the first period. I think Edmonton's going to want to come out flying, send a message that it's not going to be a repeat of Game 3. But I think the Panthers emerge victorious and take a 3-1 lead back to Edmonton.
There you go. Going to be a whole heck of a lot of fun. Always a pleasure, Jessica Blalock. Jessica freaking Blalock.
I love it. I'm going to go watch the Led Zeppelin documentary on Netflix now. I knew you'd appreciate that as well.
All right. I'll talk with you soon.
See you, Ballou. All right.
There she goes, Jessica Blalock. So that'll be Game 4 coming up tomorrow night. We're going to be at the Igloo, too. Let me give you that address and that location where we're going to be for tomorrow night's program. I know they have a big hockey audience, so looking forward to being out there for Game 4. Tonight's show brought to you by the Alexander Law Practice. Rick Alexander is a guy that has been doing this now for over 30 years, all right? And you don't know your rights. That's what's scary about this. What Rick has really been huge with is representing those who have been injured in automobile crashes and people who have been hurt because of carelessness of other drivers. You may think that you don't have rights. You may think that they're not going to be interested in me. The first thing you're going to get at Alexander Law is an immediate callback. And then you're going to get the attention, individual attention that you deserve. And they're going to take you through this entire process. You're never going to pay out of pocket, but you may be without a vehicle. You may not be able to afford to send it to, an auto body. You may not be able to get to work. Know your rights. Make a phone call today. 400-6600. It's a free consultation. Or go to alexanderlawpractice.com. I honestly hope that you people are not in this situation, but you are. Some are. And I want you to take advantage of this by going to Alexander Law Practice. Okay, you want to respond? Any of you hockey fans out there? 641-1010 on the text line. Brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. You can also get us on YouTube. Go to 1010XL into the night. Jaguar fans haven't gone anywhere, okay? We have much more to do tonight and to recap day 2 at Mandatory Minicamp. That'll include a conversation with John Oehser, who will be joining us at 7 o'clock.
Another sizzling summer on the First Coast.
Summer. And 1010XL.
Okay, for this Cannons of Jacksonville commercial, we need an idea to really come out with a bang.
Like having a guy shot out of a cannon.
Nah, too messy. In fact, Cannons is known for all your towing needs.
So like my car won't start.
No. Towing products. Cannons does custom welding fabrication and installation of trailer hitches, goosenecks, tow bars, truck racks.
So you might say Cannons is my best shot at finding that inventory in stock.
Boom. You said it.
Visit cannonsofjacks.com.
They were right. It could have waited. I can't believe it happened to me. Reaching to check my phone. Now my family has to hear that I'm never coming home again.
Officer?
I'm so sorry. I have some very sad news to share with you.
Every day, 9 people on Florida roadways don't make it home. I was one of the people that didn't make it home.
Ride with Do Not Disturb. Every trip, every time. Let's get everyone home safely. A message from Florida Department of Transportation, Target Zero. For more information, visit targetzerofl.com.
Jimerson Burr is a full-service, Florida-based commercial law firm that has experience and capabilities to handle any legal issue a business is confronted with. Learn more about what they can do for you at jimersonfirm.com.
You tired of high energy bills? Replace those inefficient windows and patio doors now. Don't miss Renewal by Anderson's 30th anniversary sale. Buy one window or patio door and get one 30% off. Financing options are available and this offer expires June 30th. Renewal by Anderson, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free consultation.
License number CGC 1527613.
Hi, I'm Sean Monahan from Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach. Since 1977, we've been Jacksonville's local family jeweler with a beautiful selection of fine jewelry and certified diamonds. But we're also Jacksonville's leading buyer of gold, silver, and diamonds from the public. Gold's recently hit an all-time high at over $3,000 per ounce. Pay bills, buy something fun. Now is the time to sell your gold for cash and get top dollar, or trade it in for a new piece and get even more at Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On June 11th, 1990, 43-year-old Nolan Ryan threw his 6th no-hitter against the Oakland Athletics, becoming the oldest player to throw a no-hitter.
Prosser here. Spring has sprung, and it's a great time to sell your house, but only if you have the very best on your side, and those very best are Chad and Sandy Newman. Spring selling season's here. Rates are down. Activity's up. It's the best time in years to sell your home, in fact, but there are homes sitting on the market. They don't have the right representation. That's where Chad and Sandy step in. Maybe you're worried your home needs repairs or updating and it won't sell for a good price. Maybe your family's growing and you need more space. Whatever the reason that you need to sell your home, Chad and Sandy deliver this promise to you. Chad and Sandy guarantee your home sold at an agreed-upon price and deadline, or they will buy it. Sounds pretty hassle-free to me. Take it from Mike and Rosemary in St. Augustine. We were determined to buy an affordable home in a specific school zone, but we didn't qualify for the loan needed to get one. Chad and Sandy's team worked with the lender, negotiated a higher qualification price, lower interest. It was huge, $200 less per month. Do it today. Call 414-6200 or go to chadandsandy.com.
Your home
home is more than walls and a roof. It's where you breathe, drink, and power through life. At Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing, we're here to keep it all running smoothly. From clean, cool air to clean water, reliable power to expert plumbing, we do it all. For over 35 years, families have trusted Donovan to make their homes healthier, safer, and more comfortable. Call Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing today. 904-270-COOL, where health meets home.
Neck pain, back pain, or headache, Shinatri Chiropractic has 4 locations: Westside, 103rd, Riverside, Arlington, and the Beaches. Acupuncture, dry needling, physical therapy. Relief starts today. Shinatri Chiropractic, 743-6700.
Want a simple way to boost your company's image without a big renovation? A fresh paint job in your brand's colors can increase recognition up to 80%. At Performance Painting, we help companies stand out with clean, on-brand finishes that impress clients and energize employees. From color consultations to low-odor coatings that won't disrupt operations, we've got you covered. Visit performance-painting.com to schedule a friendly estimate. Performance Painting. Prepare, protect, preserve.
Performance Painting.
Are you ready to reclaim your backyard? Serving Northeast Florida since 1977, Surfside Pools is the trusted name for expert pool design. Family owned and operated, they offer pool service, equipment repairs, commercial maintenance, remodels, and new pool construction. Let Surfside Pools transform your backyard into the oasis that you crave. Are you ready to float happy? Visit surfsidepools.net or call 246-2666. Surfside Pools and Spas, where luxury meets leisure.
License number CPC 044080.
As a Florida homeowner, you're no stranger to mosquito problems. And although it's tempting to use DIY methods to get rid of them, mosquitoes are relentless. That's why it's important to enlist the help of the mosquito experts at Florida Pest Control. At Florida Pest Control, we offer specialized treatment solutions that are effective against mosquito infestations and are committed to keeping our customers protected year-round. For your free quote, give us a call or visit flapest.com today. Florida Pest Control, your local mosquito control experts.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
That's such a good answer by Jessica Blalock. And, she commented on the way that people have reacted. When you're talking about winning a championship, you can literally put anyone in your team's jersey and you're going to root. I don't want to get back into the Jalen Ramsey conversation. I get what he did here. But, I saw the greatest example of all time is Roger Clemens, in my opinion. Even though he went to Toronto for 2 years before going to New York and won a couple of Cy Youngs in Toronto. But that's what's so great about being a fan. And that is why we have heroes. We have individual heroes and players that, we love. But it is always below the actual team. It's always the team that you're going to root for first. And that's the best way to describe it. You can absolutely take anyone and put them on your team. And if they're going to help you win, especially to get you to a championship, win a Stanley Cup, that's what it's all about. We're seeing that right now with Brad Marchand with the Florida Panthers.
Now, another great guest on the Checkmate Coatings phone line. Hello. Your floor's missing piece.
Things may change a little bit in the world of golf, and because it's an individual sport, and we are certainly getting excited about round one tomorrow, the United States Open at Oakmont. Let's bring in our golf analyst. Always a pleasure to talk with Rick Shoemaker, who is the owner and operator of the Cimarron Golf Club. We like to refer to it as the Wild One. Rick, how are you?
We're sitting here enjoying a great night and getting excited about the U.S. Open, that's for sure.
Yeah, no doubt about it. All right, so a great night at Cimarron. Just overall, is this going to be Scotty Scheffler against everyone else, or do you not look at it that way? You really think legitimately that there's several golfers who have a chance to win this year's U.S. Open?
No, I think it's Scotty and Bryson.
Okay.
I think that's what it's coming down to. I think, look, Scotty's separating himself. That golf course is so difficult, and he's on fire. Again, his putting's the weakness, and those greens are brutal. And I think what was one of the stats we've all heard the past few days on Golf Channel, I guess 10 or 11 three-putts by Arnold one year.
Yep.
So that's the wild card. That's going to be the wild card for Scotty.
Yeah, and he had, he did struggle a little bit, even at Quail Hollow, with fairways hit. I would say it was almost a B effort, not an A effort, or a B game, not an A game. But apparently he has been able to fix his driver. We know he's won 3 of his last 4 events, but that went a little bit wayside on him as well.
Yeah, look, at the end of the day, though, he's got a mentality to fix things. He's just a grinder. And he's focused on winning, and that's what's separating them. And we're all hearing the stories. And that press conference with Rory the other day, what was it, 2 days ago, was very eye-opening. And Rory is complacent. Nothing wrong with that, where he is in life, but he's very complacent, but he doesn't have that edge to him. And that's the difference. Period. In the story. Scotty has an edge to him every week he goes out.
Yeah. He has the edge, but he's emotional. If some of and you mentioned his putting, and this is brutal with the rough and the lightning fast greens. If he misses some putts, particularly some short putts, you have to wonder, how is he going to handle himself? I mean, he's not John Rahm, but he does at times let himself go a little bit emotionally.
No, he does, and I think that's healthy. But, again, his stat that they continually talk about there is his bounce back. When you look at every time he makes a bogey, what happens next? Scotty can reel it in, and he tames his emotions. It's okay to have emotions. You have to tame your emotions, though, and Scotty has that X factor, and some players don't. I think the other wild card, being honest, I don't even know what the odds are, is always look at tournaments, and when you see the PGA Tour and you see, who's favored, the guys on the cusp of winning is Lowry, Shane Lowry. He's continually putting his name there, and he played well again, right?
Yeah.
So I wonder I don't even know. I'm Googling right now. I'd be interested to see what his odds are right now for the U.S. Open.
Yeah.
If he's a long ball, it'd be interesting.
Yeah, I think he's in the top 10, top 12. I know the top 3 are Scheffler, DeChambeau, and Rahm. And even when you get to Rory, you just mentioned it. Really, the deal with Rory is ever since they took away his driver, he can't hit fairways.
Oh, no. He's going back to his original driver. He's lost a little bit. It's very interesting. And he knew what was happening. It's 3/4 of an inch. I think that's the difference in his driver, 3/4 of an inch. So it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah.
Can he recapture the emotion and the drive to win? But I got to tell you, these live players, and I was telling somebody tonight, man, I'm just telling you, I love it. Sunday I watched that live tournament, and I was captivated. And it's been a long time since I've been captivated on a week-to-week PGA Tour event. And, you look at all those guys that are coming out of there. I'm excited about Bryson, what he could do. And I just think it's great for golf. And I'm looking forward to an incredible U.S. Open. And it'll be interesting. That par 3, though, come on. Let's all just throw that out the door. Come on, 300 yards. What is it now? What's the max on that?
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it is. And is that what you expect? Rick Shoemaker, our guest, our golf analyst from Cimarron, is that what you expect, that it's going to be complete carnage? I mean, I think the last 9 U.S. Opens at Oakmont, 4 of the 9 winners actually won it by shooting over par.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's going to be, and I think it's going to be an incredible test. I think that par 3, I'm sorry, I think it's a joke. There's no reason to have a 300-yard par 3. They can make it 250, 240, 260, test them with pin placement. To make it 300 yards, I just think it's comical. That's probably the only disappointing thing about that golf course.
Yeah.
But it's wide open. Yes, I do think it's going to be, if 2 or 3 under wins it, maybe. The weather's going to dictate a little bit of that. But, again, if somebody made you bet your mortgage on your house, how many people aren't going to take Scotty at this point versus the field?
Well, I think it's a fascinating question. You play Scotty or you play the field? You know, I mean, Bryson DeChambeau won it a year ago. You said you think he legitimately does have a chance. I did look at the odds, and Lowry is ninth overall, 33-1 odds to win it. And it's an accurate point. He has been close. He's been playing some really good golf as of late.
Yeah, I think that's a fair bet. I think, again, Scotty, check the box. That's an easy one. Justin, I don't know. Justin's been up and down. I don't know what to expect from Justin. And I think he's got the game to take that golf course. So, if he can get off to a good start, Justin could be there. We'll see a couple names. And but at the end of the day, I expect Bryson to be there. By the way, Bryson's short game. I mean, it was unbelievable Sunday. Did you see that? 3 chip-ins?
I did not.
3 chip-ins on the Live Golf, his final 18.
What was so captivating about you said it was captive. What was so great about, I just haven't watched it lately. What did you really enjoy by that, Rick?
Well, it's interesting. Is it the nostalgia? I'm 57. You see Graham McDowell's name and Bryson's name and Brooks Koepka and Phil Mickelson and Joaquin Neiman. But I'm telling you, there were 10 players within 2 shots. Phil Mickelson hit that shot where he holed out. Even David Ferry said it may have been the most incredible hole out, including Tiger's chip at the Masters, what Phil did. If you haven't seen it, Google it.
Yeah.
And the excitement behind it. And I watched the Canadian Open, by the way. And my wife was out of town, so I had that male opportunity, right, to enjoy peace and quiet, right? And I just sat there. I was hanging out outside, and I was watching the golf, and I watched the Canadian Tour, and I just thought, wow, the Live Tour, I flipped back to that more than times than not.
Yeah.
And those players, if you told me I'm going to take the top 20 on the Live Tour and top 20 on the PGA Tour, I'm not so sure Vegas isn't giving me the Live Tour.
Wow.
And it was exciting to watch, and those guys have so much talent, and I'm excited about the U.S. Open. No matter what, it is probably the most nostalgia of the championships. Rank them. Do you tell me, Rick? Rank the championship. Give me your top 4. What trophy would you want to take home? Of the 4 majors.
The Masters is always, to me, number 1. But I know a lot of people think it is the United States Open. Yeah?
I would take the Masters, probably. I'd probably take the U.S. Open second, close to the British Open, because I think the European nostalgia is there. And the PGA, it's challenging for me to say that. I'm a PGA of American professional. I think it's fantastic. But the Masters aura, I think by default, you want a green jacket, you want to walk in there as a member, overrides it. But the U.S. Open's close. It's our championship. These guys are incredibly, incredibly talented. The U.S. Open is going to test them, and it's going to bring out the ability for those to control their emotions. And I do think Scotty has that more times than not over many of these players.
All right, Rick, give us the very latest. What's going on at the Wild One? What's happening at the Cimarron Golf Club?
Oh, wow. We're having a good time every night. We're having a great time out here. Golf is fantastic. We got a lot of 9-hole leagues out here, by the way, nowadays. A lot of groups just getting together, enjoying the game. It's what's meant to be. I tell everybody, you want to enjoy golf, come out here at 4 or 5 o'clock, play 9 holes, see the deer, the wild turkey. Your body changes, your emotions change. You realize that you're part of a special sport. You come in here afterwards to play music bingo tonight. We got the Love Shack pizza on the menu tonight. Won't get into all that, but it's the Love Shack pizza. We're having a great time out here.
Always a lot of fun. Right there on 210 Cimarron Golf Club. It is the Wild One. Rick, always a pleasure. Thank you.
No, thank you.
There he goes. Rick Shoemaker, the national championship tomorrow. 2 of the top 3 repping the Live. Scotty Scheffler plus 275. Bryson DeChambeau, last year's champion, plus 270. Then it's John Rahm, 12-1 odds. Let's get back to the Jaguars. John Oehser joins us on the other side.
1010XL keeps it live and local even longer. Go into the night with Rick Ballou.
I wouldn't be surprised. He's got 2, maybe 3 good seasons left.
Then it's Hacker After Dark.
I think his record speaks for itself.
Evenings on 1010XL.
This is Mark Nato. My sons and I have seen the doctors and PAs at Southeast Ortho for everything from lumbar spine stress to elbow tendonitis. Southeast has always been there, been truthful, and always been on point. Everything they say happens. We can't thank them enough for what they've done and the great care that they have taken of our sons.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Guys, your lawn's the home field. Now you can champion your St. Augustine grass. TopDressing.com just hit Jacksonville with a game-changing patented process. Aerate and transform your turf into a fairway-worthy masterpiece. Less water, shorter cuts, and the envy of every neighbor. No one else delivers a perfect 10 lawn like this. Visit TopDressing.com and dominate your block with the same process that golf courses use. Top dress your lawn like the pros with TopDressing.com.
I'm Chris Campione. Auto accidents can leave you feeling lost and overwhelmed. But at Campione Law, we're here to guide you with a personal touch through every step of the process. We don't get paid unless you get paid. CampioneLaw.com.
Count on Campione Law.
It's tune-up time, and Florida Home AC, the official AC partner of the Jaguars, wants to partner with you for a cool summer season. Tune up your AC unit right now so it's running at peak performance when you need it most. Just call 777-4300 and order a tune-up for just $59. Keep your unit humming at optimal level. Log on to FloridaHomeAC.com and take advantage of their savings. Keep cool with Florida Home AC. That's 777-4300.
WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
We're certainly facing interesting economic times. For me, it's comforting to know my money's in good hands with ITP Partners. Jacksonville guys taking care of my Jacksonville money. Experience? Yeah, that's Chris Bryan, Jeff Hartman, Reagan Wright, Dan Abel, Scott Regner, Janice Cobb, and Reed Wingate. They have the expertise and knowledge to take care of your money. For more info, go to ITPPartners.com. ITP Partners, they're my financial partners for life.
Non-compensated client testimonial may not be representative of all client experiences. No guarantee of future performance or success.
Hi, I'm Mac with Baker Glass. If you've got fogged up windows, let me help. We'll replace them with clear, insulated units that brighten up your home. People say we're fast, friendly, and reliable. Just check out our Google reviews. Call me today. Baker Glass. No one treats you better.
Joe C for Preferred Roofing, reminding you your roof is more than just felt and shingles. It's a system that not only keeps your home dry, but also impacts your heating and cooling bills. Preferred Roofing and Construction is a GAF Master Elite Roofing Contractor, lauded for having the ability to educate and inform homeowners on their options. Why GAF and Preferred Roofing? They're veteran-owned and operated with ties to Duval for decades. A family business ready to make sure your family has a good roof over its head. Log on, preferredroofingjacks.com.
After I came home from Iraq, I could still hear the booms. Makes it hard to be a good mom.
As America's veterans face challenges, DAV is there.
I'm Naomi Mathis, Air Force veteran.
DAV helps veterans get the benefits they've earned.
Thanks to DAV, I was able to begin to heal.
With the right support, more veterans can reach victories great and small.
My victory is being able to be here for my children.
Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
The 2025 season schedule has dropped, and single-game tickets are on sale now. Be at the bank to watch Travis Hunter, Trevor Lawrence, and the Jaguars take on the biggest names in the NFL. Don't miss your favorite matchup and secure your tickets now by visiting Jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000. See you this fall, Jags fans.
Yes, sir. That's the best decision. I love it.
Where does Northeast Florida buy cars? Arlington Toyota. Mia here, and why Arlington? Selection. Arlington has over 800 new and used vehicles all in one location with everyday low prices. Plus, right now, save big with zero down and just $288 per month for a pre-owned 2023 Toyota Corolla. Or how about no payments till January 2026 and 60-day exchange. Shop in person on Atlantic Boulevard, just a quarter mile east of 295, or online anytime at arlingtontoyota.com.
Say goodbye to glasses and contacts with customized vision treatments at Bow 9 Associates. Hey, Hicken here. Dr. Bowden and his expert team bring you all the latest options like Evo implantable Coliber lenses, refractive lens exchange, or traditional LASIK. Tailored just for you. Imagine waking up to clear vision. No hassle, no fuss. You ready to see the difference? Call now or visit bowdeneye.com for a free screening. Bowden Eye & Associates, keeping the first coast focused.
Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you. Call 904-722-1111.
Instant Keys saves the day if you've lost or broken keys. They can program new keys and remotes for nearly every make and model of vehicle at a fraction of the dealership cost. Fast, honest, and reliable locksmith service. Call Instant Keys, 722-1111.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. It's time for Oh No's with Jaguars.com's John Oehser. Oh No's.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah. Served up by Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Very emotional week for John Oehser. It is the end of mandatory minicamp, and who knows? It could be the end of the Stanley Cup final. Game 4 coming up tomorrow night. Will Florida take a commanding 3-1 lead and then clinch over the weekend? John Oehser, senior writer, Jaguars.com. Hi, John.
Yeah, you called it, Rick. You obviously know hockey better than I. I thought Edmonton was going to tear them up, and you told me, hey, Florida's deep, and they're good, and they are good, man. They are really good. I'm not so sure Edmonton can take them at this point.
Yeah, I did say that, but I did pick Edmonton based on the fact that I did not think Florida could repeat.
Yeah, I mean, it's I learn about the sport every time I watch it, and I'm really learning here that, deeper you go lines, obviously. And Florida's just always a threat. I mean, anytime they're on the ice, they have somebody who can get it done. So that's my hockey analysis, right?
Well, it's good with us. Yeah, top 3 lines all scored goals the other night. They just physically pummeled them, both on the boards and then when they dropped the gloves late in the third period. But tomorrow's a different game. There is that old adage, if you're going to get blown out, you hear about it in baseball and even in the NFL, it's better maybe to get rocked. I don't know if I agree with that in hockey, and I wonder if they're emotionally now drained after just getting physically beaten up. But we'll see. They got the best player in the world on the other side there in McDavid.
Well, and psychology can go two ways. They came back from 3-0 last year, so they know they can do it. But it's awfully hard to do that 2 years in a row to a team. You got to figure if Florida gets the lead this year, they're not going to take them lightly. So we'll see. It's been great stuff, though.
There was a scare today at the Miller Electric Center for a couple of minutes when Brian Thomas went down. It was far away, but apparently a collision with Tyson Campbell, and at least for the time being, those moments were pretty scary for the Jaguar fans in attendance.
Yeah, and the saving grace even in the moment was, there's 2 months before this thing gets started. So even if he had been out a little bit, you figured it probably was not going to be any sort of a season-threatening. If there's anybody on this team that I feel like can be ready to go at a moment's notice, I just think BTJ is so good and such a good route runner. I feel like he's a guy who can get ready. If he's out, I feel like he's going to come back at a high level because I believe he's so good. And so good news on that, obviously, is that apparently this is fine. And I just I said this on a couple of shows. I'm not sure if we talked about it. I just look at BTJ right now as a guy who I've seen young, great players accelerate in year 2 and turn themselves into from sort of hidden good stories to stars. I feel like BTJ is about to be an all-pro guy. I mean, that's how much I believe in him. I think Trayvon Walker is the best player overall in this team going into the season. But I feel like Brian Thomas Jr. may take that quickly. I think he's going to be the best player on this roster.
Interesting. I think it already is Brian Thomas Jr.
Yeah.
And I think with a solid game plan and a far expanded route tree and just the feeling with Brown and Hunter and three guys that can run, just getting him the football, I think the numbers that he could put up are just absolutely off the chart.
Yeah, and I just kind of mentioned Trayvon in that because I'm such a believer in his all-around. Like, I think he does so many things well that get hidden. Like, when I look at this roster, I think if there's a guy that I believe in for 17 games who's going to be a high level, and he's a veteran, so that's why the second-year thing, it's the one reason why I just don't say BTJ hands down. But I have a feeling I'm going to be saying BTJ hands down by week 1 or 2 because I think he's just going to explode.
John Oehser, our guest, senior writer, Jaguars.com. He joins Rick Ballou here on the home of the Jaguars, 92.5 FM. Yesterday, our first opportunity to see Travis Hunter defensively. Did you learn anything at all outside of the fact that he is just a freak athlete?
Well, I didn't learn anything, but I think everybody saw for themselves what they've been talking about. And I can't think of any specific quote, but the general gist from talking to people who have watched him play defense in these, since he joined the Jaguars, is there's almost this hushed awe of how does somebody do that without much preparation and step in and make it look so easy? And they wouldn't say the word easy, but you know what I'm saying? Just look natural at two positions. I think they expected it. They knew it when they drafted him, but then to actually see it, I think we all saw it yesterday. His quickness, his awareness, his ability to make things that are hard look incredibly easy.
Right.
He's as advertised, and everybody you talk to about Travis, they all say this, the one issue is going to be how do they keep him off the field defensively because he's so good at it and he's going to want to do it.
Yeah. It's we always taper it down, especially now where there's no pads and there still is an excitement level, but it just and I want your response to it, but it feels like the defensive backfield has really played well, especially this week. I mean, Tyson Campbell's had a great camp. You look at Jordan Lewis and some of the plays that he made. Buster Brown made a big play today. Caleb Ransaw made a big play today. Are you impressed at this point with what the defensive secondary has shown?
I would say encouraged, and I think, look, everybody knows who's listening to this. It was a mess last year, and I think it was a mess from the beginning in terms of the defensive approach. And to me, in retrospect, it's hard to see it when it's happening because it's hard to believe it's going so bad. I think in retrospect last year, a lot of guys quickly lost faith in what they were being asked to do. And I think when you lose faith in and again, that is me interpreting what I saw. Not, nobody's told me that, hey, this happened. But it certainly stands to reason with everything people have said. And I think when you lose faith, you're a half step slow. You're not quite sure what the assignment is because you don't believe in what's being called. All that stuff can just ratchet down your play percentage points enough to look really bad in professional football. And I think a lot of it this year is whatever happened last year doesn't matter anymore. But I think these guys, I talked to Dewey Wingard. He was in our area, and he said, hey, I don't want to he didn't want to say that they thought it would be a lot better because he knows everybody's been burned by that. But he said, man, it sure feels, the gist of it was it sure feels a lot better. And there's a confidence in it, and they feel like everybody's pulling in the right direction. So I've always said more and more the more I'm around the league, I believe that players believing in what's going on is a huge, and fully being bought in, is a huge factor in how a team plays. And I think this secondary believes that they're going to be a lot better. I think that'll go a long way. I think that everybody being on one page is going to matter a lot for this secondary.
In this camp, we saw how it changed from really the learning phase to now they've entered the competitive phase. I thought the best point today that Liam Cohen made when he spoke with us. When he was asked about Mason Smith, he came right out and said, absolutely, this is a big one for us. I'm quoting Liam Cohen now. Right to the point that year 2, this man is going to have to step up if Jacksonville wants to make that change. I mean, he's a part of the plan, but I love the answer today by Cohen.
Well, I know we've talked about it, Rick. Think about what a huge factor that is. He's clearly a first-round talent. Size, everything you want. He looks like an all-pro defensive tackle, right? So if he is, not only for this year, but in terms of your long-term build, if he's really that, then all of a sudden you've got an all-pro, I would say all-pro, but you know what I'm getting at, a legit difference maker on the interior of the defensive line that you don't have to go find.
Mm-hmm.
And, that's a premium. Usually to find that, you're talking top 20 pick. That's what, if you're budgeting as a team, you budget having to go get that with premium equity, even premium free agent equity, whatever. If he's that as a second round pick, boy, does that make your defensive line moving forward of Trayvon, Josh. It gives you a lot of studs up there.
No doubt.
It gives you a stud on the inside. So he's got it in him. He's got the potential, but they've yet to have pads on this year. So
that's for sure.
I'll pull back from anything like that, but he is a crucial storyline. Maybe the most crucial sort of non-front line storyline on the team, if you follow me.
Yeah. I mean, all these defensive players have lost weight. He's not one of them. He looks bigger to me than he did a year ago.
Well, and that's what you expect from a year 2 guy on defensive tackle. His injury history has always sort of precluded him from having a full off season, from full training table, all the cliches you hear about second-year guys. Again, just like BTJ, that second year for a young ascending player can be a real breakout. How much better are they if he's a breakout, big-time, skyrocketing player? On the defensive front, I'd argue that would be a huge difference.
Yeah, no doubt. John Oehser, ladies and gentlemen, you can read him at Jaguars.com. He is the senior writer. Get it from him and his entire staff. Plus, you can read the Ozone Daily. Thank you, John.
Ricky, thanks, buddy.
Take care. There he goes, John Oehser. See you out there tomorrow at the Miller Electric Center. It's going to be an abbreviated practice tomorrow. Have you heard, Dylan? Are they bringing out an ice cream truck or any of that? Do we
I heard
know?
popsicles may be in the forecast. No, I have no idea.
Go to a movie. Does anyone go to the movies anymore? I actually went with my GF about a month ago. What was it again that we saw? I can't even remember.
One of the Tom Cruise movies?
It wasn't Tom Cruise. I forget. But it was fun. It was good. I miss going to the movies. Good time. I can't remember exactly what it was. That was the Ben Affleck movie. That was it.
Okay.
Part 2, year 2. It was his. It was a part 2 of a series that he's in. That's the other problem. I don't even know the names of movies.
The Accountant 2?
Nowadays. That's it.
Was that okay?
Yeah. And that was like the last time I'd seen a movie in years. But anyway, we'll see. And I don't know what they have planned tomorrow, but listen to Liam Cohen today. Said they're going to practice for like an hour and 15 minutes.
What have they been doing usually? 2 hours?
Yeah. And, decent media session. After I did catch up with Jalen McLeod today. Maybe we'll have some time to run that later in the program. If not, we'll do that tomorrow night. Hey, let me tell you about tomorrow night's show. We're on the road. We're going to be out there from 6 to 8 o'clock at the Community First Igloo. It's at 3605 Phillips Highway. And I've heard so much about this. I've yet to go. I just haven't. But I've heard spectacular things about it. And the bar area, I guess, the restaurant is fantastic. And a lot of hockey fans find their way there to watch the game. So that is going to be the deal tomorrow night, right up until they drop the puck at just after 8 o'clock. So if you're around, love to see you out there at the Community First Igloo. That'll be 6 to 8. Again, the location is 3605 Phillips Highway in Jacksonville. I thought the defensive backfield the last 2 days has been the best position group. Tyson Campbell, who was such a disappointment a year ago, primarily because of the scheme and his injuries, has really looked the part. He has battled back and forth with Brian Thomas Jr., and that in itself, I guess you can say, has been worth the price of admission. For consecutive days, Jordan Lewis has made huge plays. He did so, I think it was yesterday with Parker Washington. He made one today against Travis Hunter. So he's had a really good camp. Buster Brown, who I'm going to talk with tomorrow, Monteric Brown. It almost feels like if they had a game Sunday, your starter opposite, and I'm saying this based on play. I'm not saying it based on anything that I have seen depth chart-wise. I always stay true to that. I'm talking about based on play, okay? I think you can say that Buster Brown has been the second best defensive back so far in these 12 practices, behind only Tyson Campbell. As a matter of fact, maybe I'll do that tomorrow night, or maybe I'll do that when I get back. Just pick the top 10 players that really stood out for me. And it's a little bizarre because, I'm automatically going to eliminate anyone that is on the offensive and defensive line because they're not hitting. So it's basically skill position guys. But I would tell you the 3 wide receivers are on that list. And I'm going to put some defensive backs on that list. Certainly Tyson Campbell, and I think you have to put Buster Brown on there. But Jordan Lewis has, in consecutive days now, has made a couple of plays. And, I feel like the rookie Ransaw, and I caught up with him last week. I had an opportunity to talk with Caleb Ransaw last week. Feels like he's a rookie. Feels like they've brought him along slowly. I mean, you can say what you want about Travis Hunter. They haven't brought him along slowly. I mean, you traded up to get him. You gave a lot. It's like, bam. He's automatically inserted, and he's going to be a factor against Carolina on day one. These other rookies, you just kind of sit back and you're like, all right, what are you really going to get this year out of Ramsaw? What are you going to get this year out of Milam? What are you going to get this year out of Tootin? What are you going to get out of these rookies? And it felt like the whole development process with Ransaw and his reps, maybe down a little bit, but it was good to see him make a really nice play today. And, learning that brand new position. He did so at the Senior Bowl week, but we do know that he is a slot guy, and he's played some boundary. But around here, he is going to play safety. So some good stuff there. All right, we got much more to get into. It's going to include your phone calls, your texts at 641-1010, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. I do want to bring in the Boston Capper to hopefully make you some money, because we're on the eve of the United States Open, and Capper does well. He is a professional. He dives into it. His way of wagering is fairly, I think, out of the box when he will play, a golfer against a golfer, or the type of props that does the Hard Rock do they do golf props? Because I'm not on there. Do they do that?
They do the head-to-head. I know they have previously. I'm gonna look right now. See, I know they got the odds up. Let's see. Yeah, you can do top 5, top 10, top 20, winner without Scotty Scheffler, and you can do a couple others.
Okay.
First round leader, end of round leader, end of round 2, round 3. Who's gonna be the top person from each nation? So, there's a couple out there.
I wonder what old school bookies are thinking, just how this entire world of sports wagering has changed. I mean, we started we started to notice the change as far as individual player props and what have you. Now it's all live in-game betting.
Oh, yeah. You can bet like literally basket to basket, pitch by pitch. And the odds change dramatically. So it's a different world.
Well, I guess it's cool if the old ways, you pick a side, and if you're getting blown out in the first quarter, or you're getting blown out in the first period or the third inning, I guess live in betting, you can try to find a way to hedge your bet.
Yeah, or, I mean, could you back then call the bookie at like halftime?
Hell no. No way.
So you were done. Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, so yeah, it's crazy to kind of think that the life of sports gambling would actually change, and it has right in front of our eyes. All right, we got much more to do. We do tonight till 8 o'clock. You still in Denmark. My name is Rick Ballou.
The roar of the crowd. The theater of your mind. It comes alive in your ears. Showtime! Jacksonville's play-by-play sports radio. 1010XL.
Rick Ballou for Coy Dental. That's right, Carlson Dental is now Coy Dental. Dr. Lee has been practicing there for 9 years, has purchased the company. The Coy Dental team still has the same great dentists and staff. And remember, if you get nervous visiting a dentist, don't. There's never a problem at Coy Dental. With light sedation for cleaning, then deep sedation for all your restorative needs. Coy Dental, 2 locations in Jacksonville.
Interested in a unique date night? Gibby here. I took my wife Nikki to Wick a Candle Bar. She made her own custom candle right there in the store. Shop local at Wick a Candle Bar. Locations in San Marco and Jacks Beach.
Cool Cats Heating and Cooling. The coolest cats in town. Setting the standard in our hometown. Quality service, the best around. Coolidge is the cat that cares about your heating and about your air. Cool Cats Heating and Cooling. The coolest cats in town.
Is your roof ready for hurricane season? When storms hit, you need more than just a roof. You need trust. Valor Roofing Company is veteran-owned and operated, serving all of Florida with integrity and quality craftsmanship. From minor repairs to full replacements, they'll treat your home like it's their own. Estimates are always free, and veterans receive a special discount on all roofing services. Visit ValorRoofingCo.com and protect your home with people who care. GAF certified license CCC 1334864.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On June 11th, 1990, 43-year-old Nolan Ryan threw his 6th no-hitter against the Oakland Athletics, becoming the oldest player to throw a no-hitter.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes. Let's start with some cold, hard truth. Here's why Awaken 180 weight loss is your road to freedom. It's fast, it's easy, it's safe. You're not shooting chemicals into your body every week. You're eating real food every single day. You're not listening to an overpriced celebrity tell you about magical new food or asking you to count points or calories. You're just eating food and losing weight. It's that simple with Awaken 180 weight loss. You know what else you're doing while losing weight with Awaken 180? Eliminating pain, fitting into clothes you haven't worn in years, sleeping through the night and waking up refreshed and energized and happy. I lost 40 pounds in 9 weeks on Awaken 180, and Hacker lost more than 110 over the course of a year. It's a life-changing road to freedom. Doesn't matter what your goal weight is, Awaken 180 weight loss will get you there quickly and safely, a clear path to success without disappointment. Awaken 180. Give them a call, 844-346-1800, or go online at awaken180weightloss.com.
Prosser here. It's a great time to sell your home, and I got just the people to sell it for you. Spring selling season is here. Rates are down, activity's up. Now's the best time in years to sell your home. Some homes are sitting on the market, though. Hiring an expert who can maximize your equity and minimize your hassle, that's the key. And I've been telling you who those experts are. Are you listening? I recommend Chad and Sandy Newman. Go to chadandsandy.com, the local real estate experts you can trust with the sale of your home. No required costly repairs. Pick your move date. There are no long-term contracts, and you can cancel at any time. So whatever problems you think you have, I've got you this promise. Chad and Sandy guarantee your home sold at an agreed-upon price and deadline, or they will buy it. There you go. Simple as that.
Christopher on Anastasia Island. My home was too big for my needs. I wanted someplace smaller and easier to manage. I got multiple offers and sold in 3 days with Chad and Sandy. You can too at chadandsandy.com or 904-414-6200.
SportsForecaster.com has all the data you need to project tomorrow's winners. Register for free and track the performance of all your favorite players and teams, including all your fantasy team picks and prospects. Sports Forecaster has the most detailed player profiles on the web, precise depth charts, every transaction, every injury, every news update. No ranting or raving, no preening or barstool bluster. At SportsForecaster.com, you get the timely info you need for every game. SportsForecaster.com. Sign up for free today.
As a law enforcement officer, safe roads are one of my top priorities, ensuring everyone can get home safely each day. Some never will, due to aggressive driving, being distracted, or speeding on the roads. And too often, that results in the toughest part of my job and the longest walk in my life. I'm so sorry. I have some very sad news to share with you.
9 people will be killed on our Florida roadways today. Don't let it be you or a person you love. Buckle up every trip, every time. Let's get everyone home safely. A message from Florida Department of Transportation, Target Zero. For more information, visit targetzerofl.com.
At Hurricane Grill and Wings, the wings are fresh, the drinks are cold, and the game is always on. With 30 bold flavors, ice-cold beer, and handcrafted cocktails, there's no better place to kick back and catch every play. Escape the ordinary. Your home for sports is Hurricane Grill and Wings.
As a Florida homeowner, you're no stranger to mosquito problems. And although it's tempting to use DIY methods to get rid of them, mosquitoes are relentless. That's why it's important to enlist the help of the mosquito experts at Florida Pest Control. At Florida Pest Control, we offer specialized treatment solutions that are effective against mosquito infestations and are committed to keeping our customers protected year-round. For your free quote, give us a call or visit flapest.com today. Florida Pest Control, your local mosquito control experts. 1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, another great guest on the Checkmate Coatings phone line. Hello. Your floor's missing piece. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
It's a par 70 in Pennsylvania at Oakmont. 7,372 yards. And it has been treacherous. They've had, 9 of them? And I want to say 4 of the 9 at the Oakmont Country Club. The winner has gone over par. It's the first U.S. Open there since 2016. And we just hope for complete carnage. This is hopefully one of these golf events where par is a great score. Let's bring in the Boston capper. He joins Rick Ballou. Hello, sir.
Hey, what's going on, Rick? How are we doing today, bud?
We're doing okay. We are. And, this is an interesting one. This is a national championship. This is a golf course that is going to be expected to really, fluster the greatest golfers on the planet. What's your overall thought about this with the, lightning greens, the incredible rough, not a lot of trees, no water hazards? Oakmont's a different type of golf course.
Yeah, listen, I definitely agree with that, right? If you take a look at these greens, even if you watch the 2016 with Dustin Johnson and Shane Lowry choking away that lead, and the crazy rough, this course is designed to make golfers miserable, which is fun for us, right? This is why it makes us a great weekend, right? US Open, get to watch the professionals hacking around like we do on the weekends. But I will say this. We talk ourselves into this every single year. And it hasn't been over par since 2018 in Shinnecock, and that's the only time in the last 10 years the winning score has been over par. Mm-hmm. So you factor that in with all the rain they've gotten this week. They're going to get some rain on Friday afternoon and over the weekend. It is going to make it play softer. They put what they call a bevel cut into the rough, where that way if let's say you hit center cut, and typically if it's firm and fast, you're going to run into the thick stuff. Well, now they kind of put an edge on it where it's going to stop it a little bit, and you're not going to get completely buried. So they're taking some things to make it not completely unfair, it seems like. Now, look, it's still going to be a struggle. I say that just more about the winning score. It only takes one guy to go under. So I would be shocked if it ended up over par for a winner.
Okay, with that said, is that something that you are going to do? Are you going to take a look at what they expect to be the best number and play that over?
Yeah, so I took the under, right? So I took the under 1.5, right? So somebody's going to score -2 or better, right? So I took that. It's a 278.5 for anybody who goes and looks at these golf bets and wants to do the math themselves. 280 is par this week. So 278.5, play the under. Somebody will get to -2.
Yeah, the under. That is what I meant, clearly. And as you pointed out, yeah, it's something that is talked about all the time, but the last several years it has gone under. All right, Scotty Scheffler again, way out ahead as far as the odds. That whole risk in reward. Do you play Scotty, then play some others, or do you just leave what is, a decent return, but not a great return if Scotty Scheffler does go ahead and win it?
Yeah, so actually what's nice is Hard Rock has finally offered some without Scotty markets and then some without Scotty, all the big boys, Scotty, Bryson, Rahm, and Rory markets. So you can kind of go into that a little bit. So I'm leaving Scheffler off of my card. Look, he can go out and dominate. Nobody's better on approach right now from any distance. He can get up and down from anywhere, and he's long enough and straight enough where Bryson's advantage. Look, it's still going to be an advantage, but it's still Scotty Scheffler. So if I'm betting Scotty anywhere on my card this week, it's Scotty in the first round, top 10. That's at +160. You're only giving up 100 points to only have to do that with one round versus 4 days.
Mm-hmm.
Andy has the most top 10 finishes in the first round over the last 2 years of betting golf.
All right, Bryson DeChambeau won it a year ago. John Rahm is third as far as the odds. Both really struggled at the PGA Championship during the back nine. And then you look at Rory McIlroy, who's fourth. Rory McIlroy, since they took away his driver, he can't find a fairway. He missed the cut at the Canadian Open.
I know. Yeah, so I thought about this after Rory won the Masters, right? My initial thought was, hey, now that the monkey's off his back, the lid's off, watch out, he's going to go on a run. And then he proceeded to show me the complete opposite. And then so 2 weeks ago, I kind of changed my stance. His press conferences kind of reinforced that to me. It seems like he just doesn't know what his next goal is. It seems like he's hit his life goal and he doesn't know how to get up, right? Yeah. So I'm a hard pass on Rory. And listen, I get it. He's got one of the best U.S. Open records other than Bryson in the last 10 years. And look, it's a good number. Typically, if it was drifting like that, I would think about it. But that driver just scared me so much, and you cannot be that wild. You can't be a fire hose this week and expect to be able to hack out of that rough. As far as Rahm goes, I actually think that's a really fair number, 12-1. He showed a lot in the PGA. I know you said that, he struggled on the back nine. He got super aggressive on the back nine because he had to, right? He had to shoot for that pin. And he doesn't care if he comes in second or last at that point, right? He wants to win. His bank account is plenty full. He's not playing for the PGA Tour. He was going for that win, so he had to make the aggressive shots. I really like Rahm at 12-1. I don't know if I'm fully on board at a 12-1, but out of the top four, 12-1, John Rahm would be my pick.
Boston Capper, our guest, previewing and really looking at the overall odds as we handicap this year's United States Open. Get underway tomorrow morning, Oakmont Country Club. It's a par 70. And again, they've had 9 previous United States Opens in Oakmont. All right, give us, I know you're still, there are some things going through your head. You got to make a couple of more decisions, but what do you like so far? Which ones really kind of stand out for you, getting ready for round one tomorrow morning?
Yeah, so look, I think, I call him Scam Young, but Cam Young showed well. Last week, he's never won on the PGA Tour, but if the prototype that you're looking for is somebody like Bryson, driver, putter, that's him. He hits the ball a country mile. He plays well on long, tough courses. You can get him with the without Scotty market at 75-1. You can get Cam Young at 50-1 without all top four of the big boys, which I like. And then I did the same thing with Keegan. Keegan is long and straight off the box. Captain Keegs wants to be a player captain. He's playing some of the best approach numbers of anybody in this field. His putting's regressed a little bit, but I feel like he really corrected that when he went to aim point. He became one of the better putters, which was shocking as a longtime Keegan backer. I think that number is more than fair. You can get him without Scotty at 75 and 40-1 without all four big boys. And he's playing really, really good golf right now. And long test, Northeast, that's Keegan's pick.
All right. Do you ever play guys to not make the cut?
I do sometimes. Usually I'll make it like a parlay just because the juice typically isn't worth the squeeze. The sports books make it kind of not worth it. Right? I'd rather just kind of put my focus on other things like I said, like that Scotty first round top 10, that's plus 160. I got Morikawa first round top 10 because he's another guy who comes out of the gates fast and then fades over weekends. You can get that at 5-1. And then I look at the matchup market for the most part versus that.
All right, Boston Capper. Anything we forgot?
First round did that. Oh, Corey Connors is a nice bet. Plus 165, top 20. He's not long, but he's straight. And he has a pretty good performance with that too. But yeah, other than that, I mean, I think that's it. I mean, I think it's really Scotty's tournament to lose. But yeah, listen, hopefully we just get a good weekend of golf watching these guys hack it around and you can make some money on the periphery.
Yeah, it should be a lot of fun. All right, tell the listeners how they can get you both on Twitter as well as your podcast.
Yeah, so I'm on Inside Sports Network. The podcast is called Hold the Green with Capper and Steve. You can find us on YouTube, Inside Sports Network. I'm on Twitter at Boston_Capper. Usually I'm yelling more about hockey than anything else. But yeah, you come find us in the Discord. That's where a bunch of Shaft guys are giving out a bunch of picks and going through like DFS and different bets and showing you where to make the picks at.
We're just getting older and softer. Just totally loving Brad Marchand compared to 20 years ago where I despised Ray Borg.
I know, brother. I know. We are getting old.
It's nuts. All right. Have a good one. Best of luck in your plays.
You too, brother.
There he goes. Boston Capper, ladies and gentlemen. Just lay him up, laying them out there. We haven't made our picks yet, have we? We have time for that?
Oh, yeah. We can squeeze them in right here.
Oh, man. This is going to be we can do it on the other side. I guess we can actually take a break on time here, come back and do that. But I think it's your pick. You will go first. So it'll be interesting to see which way Dylan Denmark does go as far as the United States Open. Again, it's going to be an incredible week. College World Series kicking off, the NBA Championship, the Stanley Cup Final, and the United States Open. All of this on the heels, of course, of the College World Series, which was completed in women's softball. So championships all throughout the month of June. We got much more to do. Take it tonight till 8 o'clock.
Some of life's proudest moments came out of struggle. We did it. When you realize you met the challenge. 1010XL.
Rotator cuff injuries are common among athletes and those who have physically demanding careers. Don't let this injury keep you away from the sport you love. Dr. George Barry here, and the first thing you need to do with a serious shoulder injury is to diagnose where the damage is and how significant it is. Rotator cuff tears are either acute tears sustained during an injury or accident, or degenerative tears. If you're interested in learning more about rotator cuff repair and how our expert team of orthopedic surgeons can help you, call Barry Orthopedics today or visit barryorthopedics.com.
Life is just so busy this time of year. Between work, the kids' games, family vacations, I need a yard hero to free up my weekends.
You mean somebody who does mowing and trimming?
Yeah.
How about mosquito control?
Yeah.
What about irrigation and pet waste removal?
You do that too? You're my lawn hero.
Find your lawn hero at heroeslawncare.com. Heroes Lawn Care, because every lawn needs a hero.
Have you got concrete or asphalt rubble piling up? Arcosa Crushed Concrete will pay you for it and recycle it. They're just minutes from Everbank Stadium on Talleyrand. Call Arcosa Crushed Concrete and get paid for what you don't need. ArcosaCrushedConcrete.com.
Are you 18 years or older, just got married, just got divorced, or have children? Listen up. Have you done your last will and estate planning? If you have questions, call Matt Hinson with the Hinson Law Firm. Reach him at 527-1700. Office is Jacksonville, Florida. And don't let the state decide your fate.
Like to learn how to fly an airplane? Well, you're not alone. High Flying Jacko here, inviting you to listen Sunday morning. We'll start your aviation career with a 60-minute ride on the airwaves of 1010XL. The High Flying Show, Sunday at 9 on 1010XL.
Prosser here. Get those boats ready. The Dailies Old School Kingfish Shootout, presented by Yellowfin, is almost here. It's Saturday, June 14th. Just go to oldschoolkingfish.com to find out more. The grand prize is a Yellowfin Bay boat worth $125,000, and with limited boundaries, no bait buying, and no checkout, it is seriously old school. Here's how you do it. You go online, you sign up, and you become part of what was always a terrific tournament. It's the Old School Kingfish Shootout. oldschoolkingfish.com.
Hey everybody, it's Mike Dempsey, and I only like to recommend the best, which is why I'm proud to say that I chose Pella Windows and Doors for my own home. And now's a great time to upgrade your home with 0% financing for 60 months. That's 5 years of interest-free payments on the best windows and doors in the business. Don't wait. Schedule a free consultation at PellaJacks.com or visit their showroom on Phillips Highway just north of Bay Meadows. For quality you can trust and savings you can't miss, that's Pella Windows and Doors.
Home is where your story begins. And at Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing, we're here to make it the healthiest, most comfortable place it could be. Whether it's fresh, clean air, dependable plumbing, or reliable power, we take care of it all. From routine maintenance to state-of-the-art solutions, Donovan keeps your home running smoothly. Because at Donovan, we believe your home isn't just where you live, it's where your health meets comfort. Call Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing at 904-270-COOL or visit us online. Let's make your home healthier, safer, and better together.
Need cash? Beaches Jewelry and Pawn has cash, and they're ready to buy guitars, surfboards, jewelry, firearms, tools, and especially gold. And gold market prices are at a record high. Get cash on the spot at Beaches Jewelry and Pawn in Jacks Beach.
Ballou here for Smunez Vision. Why Smunez Vision? Well, I've been with Dr. Neil Smunez now since I got back to Jacksonville in 2006. 37 years of experience he has. Smunez Vision is a family organization that focuses on personal high-quality medical and surgical eye care. Dr. Catherine Smunez is fellowship trained in cornea and cataract surgery and all refractive surgery. Combined, that's 30 years plus in laser eye surgery. Visit SmunezVision.com today. Here you can see.
Thy ticket, Lady Jennifer of Coolidge.
Well, many thanks, good sir. Hereeth my Discover card.
They accept Discover at Renaissance fairs?
Yeah, they do here. Discover is accepted at the places I love to shop. Get it? With the times.
With the times? You're playing the lute.
Yeah, and it sounds pretty good, right?
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
If you're ready to transform your yard with a fence that stands out, elevate your curb appeal with Superior Fence and Rail. Superior takes pride in offering first-class service, friendly installers, and unmatched fence products. Mention this ad and get $250 off your next project. It's time to get off the fence and call today.
When you're on the fence, about a fence, SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
I'm with Greg from Cycles of Jacksonville. You're on-road, you're off-road, now you're on the water. Greg, tell everybody what Coach and Honda is offering in the form of boats.
We've got the Honda boat, which is a great runabout fisherman. We've got the Coach boats. They're fantastic for getting out with a family. Nice lay-down beds, all with that legendary Honda motor on them.
Check them all out. They're waiting for you. You can see how you can be on the water with Honda or with Coach pontoon boats. Cycles of Jacksonville on Atlantic near Regency.
Collisions happen on every play in football. Collisions also happen every day on the road. If you need auto body repair, from a $30 job to a $30,000 job, trust San Jose Collision in Mandarin.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Now the cool down with Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing, keeping Jack's cool since '87.
Well, today was, for at least for a couple of minutes, a major scare when Brian Thomas Jr. went down. A collision with Tyson Campbell, but he got up. It was a shoulder. Walked into the indoor facility at the Miller Electric Center and then returned to a outstanding ovation. Jaguar fans in attendance today. Day 2 of mandatory minicamp. The completion is tomorrow. I have a scheduled interview with Buster Brown, so look forward to doing that. He's had a good camp. He has. I think the defensive backfield has had a pretty good camp. I've enjoyed it. The rookie minicamp and everything through OTAs, and then obviously mandatory minicamp. Tomorrow morning, first round of the United States Open from Oakmont. Also tomorrow, Game 4 of the National Hockey League playoffs. That'll be back in South Florida. Coming up tonight, Game 3 series has shifted to Indiana. Oklahoma City still a big-time favorite here. 5.5 on the road, not the 9.5 or 10 that they were back in their own building. But we'll see if they can get up 2-1 here, if the Pacers can make it a series once again after their Game 1 upset. Let's get after it. Dylan Denmark, you're first. We each have 3 picks. I don't think there's going to be much suspense here early on, but you never know. Who are you going with in the first round?
Yeah, I'm going to go with a favorite, the easy one, Scotty. I mean, the fact that this is a conversation of Scotty being Tiger-like and either taking Scotty or the field, the fact that it's even a conversation is pretty wild, so I'll go Scotty, number 1 pick.
Tell you how long I've been doing this. I covered Tiger Woods' first United States Open victory in 2000 at Pebble Beach. And it was one of the great events I ever covered because on Friday, Jack Nicklaus was coming in his final United States Open. And I don't remember exactly what it was. It might have been 150 yards, 140 yards. And he had to hole out in order to make the cut. And I was working in Chicago at that particular time, but Woods just dominated the 2000 United States Open. All right, Dylan Denmark going with Scheffler. No surprise there. I'm going to do the obvious as well. I'm going to pick last year's champion. Give me Bryson DeChambeau.
All right, I'll go. Do I go with one of the favorites or? Yeah, give me one of the live guys, John Rahm. He's one of the top guys outside of Scotty and Bryson. Really, the top 4: Scotty, Bryson, and then Rahm and Rory.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll go John Rahm. Favors the drivers. He's got a good driver. Short irons. So I'll go with John Rahm, my second pick.
I'm going to pick Colin Morikawa in my second round. So give me Morikawa. You're going with Rahm. You're back at it, number 3.
I'll go Xander Schauffele.
Yeah. It's kind of interesting. Usually, are you one of those non-Rory fans?
Yeah, I don't really care for him.
I don't like him either, so I never pick him, but it can be stupid because he can win, but his game's gone now with the change of the driver. I don't think, realistically, he's got a shot here. I think he could even be in doubt when it's all said and done of making the cut. All right, my final pick, I'm going to go with, let's go with Joaquin Niemann. That is who I am going to end up taking for my final pick. So Dylan in the first round with Scheffler. I responded with Bryson DeChambeau. It is John Rahm for Dylan in the second round. I'm going Morikawa. You are going Schauffele in round number 3. And I am going to pick Niemann in the third round. So we'll see. If I offered you 3 under to win this year's United States Open, which way would you bet it?
I still think somebody gets under that 3 under.
Really?
Somebody does a little better.
You think someone gets to a 4 or 5?
Yeah, I think DJ, the last time the U.S. Open was here, got 4 under. Second place was tied with 1 under. But I think somebody, at least one person's going to go just under that 3 under.
I know you were giving us some odds earlier. Can you bet that total on Hard Rock?
I don't think so. I didn't see that when I scanned it earlier.
Okay. Because to me, that would be a lot of fun to play. If I was really into this again, I always loved totals. I had much more success in the NFL playing totals. I know it's not as fun as picking a team, and in this case, picking a golfer. But I always had my most success playing either over the total or under the total in the NFL back when I was really invested in it. I would love to do this if I was, betting on the PGA Tour, if I was betting on any one of these 4 golf majors, including the United States Open. I think it would be a fun way to handle things. But it's a long, drawn-out process. It's 4 days. And, I felt all along that you Jaguar fans, that if you're going to play that total, I'd play it now. I think that number's only going to go up as far as wins. and not go down. I think the last I looked at it was, 7.5 for the Jaguars. They a lot of times with these NFL totals, when you look at wins on the year, they don't want to be saddled with, just collecting the juice. They want a winner, or they, don't want a loser. But my point is, you're typically going to have a hook that is there, so you can't tie. So you're going to get it with a half, whether it's 6.5, 7.5, 8.5. I think right now that's where Jacksonville is, 7.5, and we'll see if that changes here during the offseason. It certainly could.
Now, the 2-minute drill. Serviced by Cool Cats Heating and Cooling. Locally owned and operated. We're your neighbors. CoolCatsJacks.com.
The coolest cats in town.
So you out of here again tonight after the show?
Yeah, we're leaving, early in the morning, going to your stomping grounds, Vegas, to go check out the Sphere. Pretty excited about that.
We had a fun
on Friday.
conversation about Vegas today, watching the Jaguars practice.
We did. I enjoyed that. That was good stuff. But no, I've heard so many good things about it from you and Hayes Carline that I'm excited to go. And, live up in Vegas for 3 or 4 days.
Yeah, and it's Kenny Chesney? Is it on Saturday night?
Kenny Chesney on Friday.
I saw Kenny, my GF's a big country gal. I saw him here at Daly's place.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Heidi, my wife, is No Shoes Nation, fan club, the whole works. Rick, we've been to Atlanta, Tampa, Floribama, Foxborough, Mohegan Sun, Jacksonville, and now this will be Vegas. This will be the 7th venue I've seen Kenny Chesney in.
You're chasing down me with you, too. I've seen him 29 times. You're getting pretty close to that.
I think this will be a dozen for me. Heidi's well into the 20s with her love for Kenny Chesney.
Yeah. Wait till you see this facility. I mean, it is just everything you've heard about it, it's even better.
Yeah. Well, it was the perfect storm. She loves Vegas.
Yeah.
She loves Kenny Chesney.
Right.
Kenny Chesney's never done a residency in Vegas. So if I did not get the means to take her to Vegas to see Kenny Chesney, I was going to have some probably issues on the home front.
Yeah, and where that's located, that part of Las Vegas is not too far away from the Mob Museum.
Oh, very good.
Which I went to my last time in Vegas.
I know it's close to the Venetian, and I've already been staking out some cigar bars in the area, so it should be a good time.
All right, good practice today. I mean, it was a scare when Brian Thomas Jr. goes down. That's a scare.
There were 2,500 some odd fans. It was standing room only for those 2 minutes that Brian Thomas was on the ground. You could have heard a pin drop. But then he got up, walked off under his own power, and then I thought it was very cool that he came back out afterwards. Liam Cohen said he could have even gone back in. It was precautionary. But, yeah, I mean, you look in Washington, Noah Brown, the guy that caught the Hail Mary last year against Chicago, he got carted off today. We don't know what's going on there. And you see what happened with BTJ here today. So even in the month of June, injury problems already in the NFL.
Yeah. All right. What's coming up? Final show.
Wyatt Milam, Jaguar rookie, is going to join me. That was my one-on-one earlier today. Looking forward to that conversation. We'll do a replay of Fred Johnson from yesterday. So it's all about the big uglies on the offensive line. We'll also talk a little NBA Finals. It's Game 3, 40 minutes away between the Thunder and the Pacers.
Have a great show.
Thanks, Rick.
There he goes. That's Hacker Nation coming up right now. That's going to do it for us on what was a very busy show here tonight. At least it was, in my opinion. Jessica Blalock, thank you. Also want to thank Rick Shoemaker. Want to thank the Boston Capper. Do want to thank John Oehser. I didn't get to the interview today with Jalen McLeod out of Auburn. We'll do that tomorrow. We'll also hear from Buster Brown coming up tomorrow. Again, a Thursday night show. We're going to be at the Igloo. Get ready for that hockey game. The Community First Igloo from 6 to 8. It is at 3605 Phillips Highway. Hope to see you there. For Dylan Denmark, I'm Rick Ballou. We'll talk tomorrow.